Right, Italian energy infrastructure firm Snam has confirmed its guidance and dividend policy for 2021 as adjusted net profit rises 10% in the first half of the year. I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, something that's going to make you jealous now. Not necessarily Marco Alverà, who is a lovely man in himself as well, CEO of Snam, but look where he is. Look at that. That's just beautiful behind. What a lovely morning, Marco. You are so lucky to be where you are. How are you, sir?
I had to share this with you. I'm in Rome. It's a beautiful day. I'm good. We had announced good results yesterday, and the book's coming out, so it's all looking good now.
Yeah, I'll come to the book in a few moments' time, actually, because I actually got a sneak preview on my desk as we speak. So that's very nice of your team to send me one of those, Marco. But look, in terms of the numbers as well, are you happy with the figures today?
We're happy. It was a good first half. Net income was up. But the most important figure for us is investments. And, you know, we're a company that has to deploy the capital, has to get projects done. It's the 14th year in a row that we deliver our investment program on time, on budget. It's not always easy in such a volatile market, but to actually get boots on the ground and kind of the infrastructure build, that's what we're all about. That's what we've delivered on.
Okay, that's fantastic. If I could just ask you to look at the camera. I don't know if you've got a monitor which is slightly... That's where we want you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. When we cut it up later on, we want to see your full face, sir. Right, in terms of, though, the progress you're making, look, we know what Prime Minister Draghi is trying to do. We know the vast amount of money that Italy has been given, and, of course, Italy, the state of, is a huge shareholder in Snam as well, the biggest shareholder by a very long margin as well. Are you seeing progress coming through on the coronavirus recovery plan, and it's coming via Snam into the economy for infrastructure spending, sir?
Yes, we think that every dollar we invest, there's a $3 multiplier on the GDP. So the government is very supportive of our investment program. We're talking to a lot of people in government about how to simplify and streamline the approvals processes, and hopefully all the reforms that are being written and enacted and passed through Parliament will really enable us to boost and even accelerate the capex. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Spending money in many parts of Italy that don't have other means of really investing and building that infrastructure. It's the same thing that the U.S. federal government's trying to do there, and it's the same thing that Draghi's trying to do here, and there's a big investment program out there.
Marco, I just want to flesh out the picture a little bit for some of our audience who may not be so familiar with Snam and your pipeline business and the role that you hope to play in the switch to renewables and alternative energies. I wonder if you could just spend a moment for us as we think about this approaching COP meeting. If you spend a moment for us just explaining how you feel that Snam can capitalise on these growing trends towards decarbonisation targets.
Thank you very much. So we are one of the world's largest infrastructure company. That means we transport gas via pipelines and we store gas underground in gas storages all over Europe, really, and now in the Middle East. When it comes to the energy transition, 2021 is going to go down as a year when it kind of all came together, not only because the U.S. is back in the Paris Agreement, but because all the big agencies, the IEA, a lot of research people, they all agree now that we will need to get to net zero, to zero emissions. We will need to get electricity up significantly. Now it's 20% of the mix. It needs to go up to 50% of the mix. Today, electricity is 20, then you have oil, coal, and gas making up the remaining 80%. In a fully decarbonized environment, you have electricity at 50, and then you'll have hydrogen at 25 and biofuels at 25, more or less. It can be some percentages off, but that's a big picture. Now, when it comes to the hydrogen and the biofuels, the biogas, the biomethane, they will run in pipelines. So our job is to convert the gas pipelines to hydrogen and to biogas pipelines, which are 100% sustainable. That's what we're doing. Right now, if you turn on your heater in Italy, the gas is flowing from Russia all the way from Siberia in pipelines. Tomorrow we will have hydrogen produced in North Africa, in the North Sea, with solar and wind resources, and that hydrogen can travel through the existing pipeline. So we've been the first in the world to experiment different percentages of blending, up to 100% of hydrogen tested in existing pipes, and it works. So that's an energy transition using the infrastructure we have. And the very good news is that this new renewable energy will cost less than existing fossil fuel energy, which is a real breakthrough.
And can I ask you, I mean, we talk a lot about the different industries that are trying to move down this road, and obviously will either be existing customers of yours or potentially could be customers going forward. But one area where it still troubles me is where hydrogen's opportunity is in transportation, because there does seem to be this competition between EVs and fuel cell and hydrogen. And I'm not clear at this stage who wins. It feels like EV has pulled ahead here. But do you see yourselves having a role in that industry?
We have a mobility division. We've announced the day before yesterday with Fincantieri the world's first hydrogen ship. So when it comes to planes, ships, long-distance trains, and big trucks, it's going to be hydrogen. There's a consensus there. Airbus, the shipbuilders, Fincantieri, and others. There's just no way you can put all that energy, heavy load, long distance energy into a battery. It's just too heavy. When it comes to light vehicles and cars, I think the good news is that it doesn't really matter, because they're both electric solutions. Whether in 10, 15, 20 years' time, a battery costs less than a fuel cell, no one knows. But the good news is the vehicle is the same. Okay. It's an electric vehicle.
Yeah, I've got to go, but I just want to ask one quick question, because I've got another CEO waiting in the wings as well. Solar and wind power are not constant. Batteries and other storage systems are limited as well. Are we spending too much money on alternatives to hydrogen that actually just aren't going to be part of the major solution? I've got about a minute left, Marco.
The beauty of hydrogen is that you can store it easily. You can transport it easily. So, look, I think we need all hands on deck. The challenge is great. Goldman Sachs thinks there's $56 trillion of energy infrastructure needed to get to net zero. A big chunk of that is going to be in batteries. I think a bigger chunk than we expect, as you're hinting at, is going to be in the form of power to gas and hydrogen storage. So I don't want to say, this is not the time to say, let's compete and give up on some technologies. Let's put everything we have at work, and the market's going to figure out what the best solution is.
Of course, that was a quote from your upcoming book, and I might as well just show the viewers the Hydrogen Revolution. I believe it comes out 26th of August as well, so fascinating read. And I've got a couple of copies, so I will actually share one with Jeffrey as well. Marco, very nice to see you. A little bit jealous about where you are, Steve. But thank you very much indeed for that. Hope to see you in September a little bit further north. Marco Alverà, CEO of Snam. Coming up on the show, we're going to hear from Schneider Electric CEO